Hey everybody, what's going on? So this video is about in response to people have been asking, a lot. How do you analyze a deal? Okay, you're starting out, especially on the creative, side we always talk about with potential administrative lot splits or lot subordination agreements, and all uh, lot adjustments. These kinds of creative ways to structure deals. How do we analyze the deal? Okay, the beauty of obviously of wholesaling is that you want to just be able to get in there, get a house and a contract and connect the dots, figure out the best way to solve the seller's problem. Okay, that's key. You're problem solvers, all right, and then figure out how to make money, get paid to solve problems. My wife's van broke down the other day. I'm not a mechanic. Took it down there. You know what happened? Paid the guy a bunch of money, okay, and he solved my wife's problem fixing the stupid van, right? Do I know what he did? I'm not a mechanic. I'm not really interested in mechanic. I got 2 sheets full of stuff he did, and problems solved, right? You understand? And I gladly paid him a bunch of money. He made money on the deal. I'm happy, and my wife's happy because we got a new van. I'm happy because my wife's happy, right? That's for another thing. All right, so you get the point, right? So that's what we're doing. We're solving problems. So how do we analyze the deal? Number one, we want to figure out the seller's problem and proffer a solution. Okay. Well, how do we have we don't know the solution until we know his problem. So assume we know his problem. Now this is this is how you structure it. This is how you analyze it. Okay. Always, always, always. What is your exit strategy? Whenever you're analyzing a deal, you have to know, you have to own your exit strategy. Does that make sense? You want to know, like, well, what am I trying to do here? Okay. The guy needs to solve the seller's problem. He needs $400,000. Okay, so let's look at the deal. And there's each deal is unique and so forth. So the first thing I want to know is your exit strategy. Are you trying to wholesale this? Is a house, does it need rehab? What if it needs rehab? What kind of rehab does it cost? And you need to ask yourself, do you come from a construction background, right? If you don't, if you do, awesome. You have a pretty good idea what it is. If you don't, you need to know what the stuff is. This is real money. Okay. Is it a $30,000 rehab or is it $80,000 rehab? Is it $80,000? How do you know that? Right. So, there's a lot of like calculators you can get out there, and people, hey, get my free calculator in your email, and then you be part of my course and all stuff. And those are great tools, I'm sure, some of them. But there's nothing like, especially starting out, nothing like actually talking, pursuant to your exit strategy, talking to your cash buyers and knowing what they buy for stuff. Okay, what they pay for stuff. Does that make sense? I've said this a couple of times, I think maybe on a video, but each flipper, okay, is different. Okay, everyone's different. They got their own, they just got their own business model. Okay, so that's really important to know what that is. I might have said this before. I had a guy one time when I was flipping a bunch of houses, and he got out of prison for some stuff, and needed a job. Okay, and I'm a good Christian guy. I want to help him out, whatever. Well, the dude didn't have a driver's license, so it was kind of a pain. We had to pick him up and drive him there. So he's worth $8 an hour. But this guy was a phenomenal electrician. He just was. That's what he was really good at. So he would that's crazy. He would rewire all my houses for $8 an hour. Okay, $8 an hour. And he, but then I pay my electrician to pull permit, a few $100 there, kind of thing, right? But I was able to save. I mean, I was able to do a $15,000 electrical job for $1,200, kind of thing, right? See what I'm saying? I remember all my, I'm buying properties. My colleagues are like, "Hey, that's a big electrical job there, man. How'd you do that?" And I'm like, "Oh, just I got that's my niche, right?" Does that make sense? So I can undercut all my. So if you see where I'm going with this. Okay, so if it's a normal $40,000 rehab, and 10 of it is going to be big, huge, major electrical work, and I can do it for pennies on a dollar. I don't need to spend. It's not a $40,000 rehab, is it? No, it's a $30,000 rehab. Does that make sense? But that's me because that's my niche, right? And so everybody's like that. Maybe who you get some guys, maybe they're really good at the cabinets. They got a dude working out of his basement. I've seen this and just cranking them out, socially awkward guy, doesn't know how to do, but he's good at making cabinets. He's in the basement. He's happy. Good. You know what I mean? Whatever that is. So you want to know, the point is, we're talking about analyzing deals. You want to know your cash buyer's business model. Okay. And they're going to tell you. And if they don't tell you, then they're not really your cash buyers, are they? I'm saying one more time. If your cash buyers don't tell you the business model, they're not really your cash buyers, are they? They're not really your business partners. You make money in this deal by connecting the dots, okay? You engender good business relationship with cash buyers, okay? And buyer builders. You have to. If you don't, if all you got is a stupid, oh, I got 80, I got an 80 cash buyer list that I got on the internet for a $5, look, man, they might be buyers, but they're not your buyers. They're not your business partners. Does that make sense? You've got to engender that. Well, gee, how do I do that? I've got a lot of videos on that. I mean, you want to get to know them, okay? Rewatch some of the videos if you want. I can do more training on that. But yeah, get to know the business model, ask some questions, meet their plumber, meet their electrician, meet their cabinet guy, all that kind of thing, right? So know what a rehab costs. So you can look at a house, a property, a distressed property, and really kind of get to know what it's going to cost. I mean, I can go through a house and tell you what the rehab costs in 3 minutes, right? Maybe it might take you a little bit longer. So I've done so many, right? Hundreds and hundreds. I mean, it's just okay. You know what I mean? Okay. But actually, for me, it's kind of fun when they're really complex. It's you diagramming and rearranging the bathrooms and everything. Anyways, that's the matter. So you want to know that, okay? So point is, you can have the eyes of your cash buyers, of your business partners. So you look at a deal and just know, hey, Joe the rehabber, he can put those $8,500 cabinets right in this house, just like he did the one on 6532 Birch Street he was working on last week. Does that make sense? Okay, you know all that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing. Know what the rehab cost is, okay? And your cash buyers will tell you, okay? So that way you can know, ARV is 70%. 70% of the ARV is what a cash buyer is going to want to buy it for, typically, okay? Less repairs, okay? And you're going to know what the repairs are. And also knowing your cash buyer, again, pursuant to what your exit strategy is. I've done this. I have paid more than the 70%, ARV rule in areas that I'm really, really confident in. I've got a good agent who's selling stuff really, really, really quick, because I know if I buy it here, I'll sell it quick. I might pay a little bit more for it, but I got the money laying around, not, needs to be, moving somewhere. So yeah, I'll do it. Does that make sense? But that's very nuanced. That's, don't just assume, your cash buyers will buy up to 80% or something, because it's risky, really risky. Okay, because whose money is it? Yours? No, not your money. It's theirs. So you have to respect their money. Okay, so that's the first thing. What the ARV is, less repairs, what your cash buyers are looking for. So that's on the rehab side. Okay. The second thing, which is just as important, I always, without fail, do this. Do what I'm going to tell you right now. Check with planning and zoning to see if the property is eligible for an administrative lot split, or what's it zoned for. If it's in the town and city, is it an R6? It's on an older property, maybe on half an acre. Well, then you could put 6 lots and potentially now 6 lots on there. Okay, that's just on paper. So the first thing, you want to figure that out. Okay, well, that's now you just made a home run potentially. It's a lot you got to figure out now, though, but that's the first thing. Okay, so now that I can split it multiple, up to 6, units. What is the requirement for 6 building permits? Okay, now there's going to be a checklist of what that's going to be. Administrative lot split of this. There's going to be a checklist for that, and then there's going to be a checklist for a building permit. What it's going to take. You have to have road footage. You have to have ingress, egress, kind of thing. Setbacks. Okay. My buddy lives in Seattle, and I mean, gosh, I'm telling you, I mean, I'm 6'5". You can walk, use your arms. You can kind of walk between the houses and almost touch them, right? They don't care. They just want a bunch of tax money, So they're like, yeah, it's fine. I just other places like, no, you have to have a 50, 20 foot, 30 foot setback. So it really depends. Okay. If you're in Seattle, though, King County, my friend, you get away with a whole lot of cool stuff sometimes. Regarding setbacks, there's a bunch of other drama you got to deal with. But that's anyway. Okay, so we want to know, like, what is it going to take? So just because you can split the lot is cute and all, but what you care about is eligibility for a building permit. You want to know what it's going to take. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is what we're talking about. We're talking about how to analyze the deal. So know your cash buyers and know your exit strategy. What is your exit strategy? What are you trying to do? Well, make the most amount of money. The house needs to be fixed. What's the rehab cost? What is your rehabber? What your partners buy for? Okay. Then second thing, can you split the lot? Well, if you can, what are you going to put there? Okay. So can you split the lot? Yes, you can. Is it eligible for building permits? Yes. Yeah, it is. What does it require? And what these requirements for building, buildable lot eligibility is money. I mean, it really is. There's costs involved, utilities. Okay. Where's your sewer come from? Where's your septic come from? You might be septic. Okay. Where's your water coming from? Where's your power coming from? Okay. You got to know all that kind of stuff, right? It's rural highway districts going to want to get involved. They want to make sure that it's okay. Fire brigades want to come out there and if you have properties that are farther away from the road, they're going to want a big freaking 20-foot wide road so they can get their fire brigade in and out. Okay, so you got to know that. So you got to talk to the rural fire district. Okay, and those guys can be a real pain in the ass to try and find sometimes. So you got to just be persistent. Okay, so the next thing, analyzing the deal. Once you know the house, you can get multiple building permits or even a second building permit on the lot. That's great. Okay, so now your exit strategy is, I'm not exit strategy, but analyzing the deal, you really need to, again, just like I talked about engendering a good business relationship with your cash buyers, you want to engender a good business relationship with your buyer builders to know what would be the most effective building, structure to put on these lots you're building. Does that make sense? You don't want to put a big 3,000 square foot house in there if it won't fit, or it's more effective to put a 1,200 square foot. So that's gonna be for the next part of the video. This is kind of a long training on analyzing deals. So this is the first part of the training for analyzing deals, and we'll talk to you in the next video. I'm real excited for you. If you have any questions, you need mentorship, whatever, call me up. Okay, let's do this. You can do this. Okay, don't be overwhelmed. Okay, I've been there. Just do your due diligence, and we'll get you there. Okay, so Godspeed. Talk to you soon. Need any help? Let me know.